Hello, good morning, good afternoon, welcome. I'm very pleased to be joined by Lennart van der Burg, who is the cluster manager for the green hydrogen cluster at TNO, which is the research or applied research institute of the Netherlands. So welcome, Lennart. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah, thanks, Nadim. Yeah, thanks for the introduction. Yeah.
You're going to be speaking at the World Electrolysis Congress, which is happening in Düsseldorf this year, 4th to the 6th of March, and obviously addressing some of the areas around electrolysis and clearly a big area of focus of your research. We've seen a lot of challenges come up. We've seen obviously people challenging to get to FID. We're seeing a lot of research and innovation going into particularly obviously the electrolysis part. What are some of your thoughts around the challenges to electrolysis and how low can the cost curve drop, how quickly, and what are some of your thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, electrolysis is like a container. Basically, there are four types of electrolysis technologies, being alkaline and PEM technology, the most mature ones. And each technology has their own technology challenges. If we're looking at the PEM technology, two major challenges we see is, for example, this PGM, the iridium use in PEM electrolyzer, obviously, which is a great benefit because we're reaching high efficiency by using this iridium. But the downside is there is not so much available, and so can we reduce the loading? That's one of the key challenges. But also this potential upcoming PFAS ban, the membrane being used in the PEM electrolyzer is fluoride membrane. So can we work on alternatives? So that's one of the challenges of PEM. So that's on the low temperature side. But if you go to the high temperature solid oxide electrolyzer, which is an extremely interesting technology, because it's a high efficiency, but because of the high temperature, the degradation is also going fast.
Yeah.
So the lifetime of the solid oxide technology is a challenge. And
Uh-huh.
also the cells are quite small, and we're working on the what larger cells, 30 by 30 centimeters, so larger cells, which meaning lower cost. And if you're really looking at the cost of electrolyzer projects, we thought it were going down, but actually in Europe we see the opposite. The cost is actually going up.
Wow.
And that's not so much the cost on the electrolyzer stack itself, because
Yeah.
that can go down, but the total project cost that's
Mhm.
increasing, and that's because of a number of reasons. The financing is more expensive.
Yeah.
The risk of technology, who's taking up the risk? So there are a lot of extra cost involved, materials, permits, number of reasons why this cost actually going up. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the wider economic environment certainly seems to have changed, and people are talking about going back to a bit more of a normal, certainly an interest rate scenario, and the last 10 years certainly of ultra low interest rates are a thing of the past, and indeed were a great benefit for renewable energy, or sorry, renewable electricity to scale during that period. But now hydrogen is going to have to scale with a higher cost of finance. And again, yeah, obviously, yeah, you mentioned what again wider economic challenges, I guess, around inflation and the cost of living crisis and the impact of the supply chain issues coming out of COVID but in terms of some other drivers around the sort of sheer, I guess, material science,
Mm.
it's those costs come down from I guess a factor of innovation. And the more innovation there is, the more people like yourself and your teams working on driving real science up or down its technology readiness levels. The quicker we go
Yeah.
down the cost curve, but that also takes time, doesn't it? In terms of generally it takes nigh on a decade to effectively develop a technology.
Yeah, and we actually think in terms of generations. So for basically PEM and alkaline now,
Mm,
generation one basically is
yeah,
being deployed. In parallel, we should work as a community on generation two and three.
yeah,
And these generations involve that it will be more efficient, lower cost, more circular. So that's really important. And that is to be honest a challenge, because you see electrolyzer companies, they have a sort of design freeze because they want to go for standardization, which is really important. Going from project to project, really going to product. So you see the really standardization in the market for the technology, and also you see the scope of supply is they are actually making it smaller. So made the scope of supply maybe the stack only or the balance of stack, but that leave more room for EPC contractors, for example. They can take all other part of the electrolyzer activities. Which I think is good that companies stay at the position in the part of the value chain where they are best equipped, and they also can take up and guarantee the performance for their component, for their product. And that's really important because we can't afford any issues also with respect to safety. We should really make sure that these projects will run. And obviously, a lot of projects which are being deployed now have issues in operations, and that's where the technology is. But we should learn from that, and that's another thing what we see in the market, which is not done enough. We are not learning enough from these projects.
Yeah.
And the whole community is a bit closed, and I think that's nice to have these events like you're organizing, that we share much more learnings, high level from the market, but also more technology learnings from especially things around safety or circularity. We should share that much more so that new companies can come with solutions, and that's really important, especially if you see the big governmental investment in subsidies. So if you look at the Netherlands, we are investing like 9 billion euros the coming decade on hydrogen, and there should be something in return that we are learning. The Dutch industry, the community, which also in the end should result in a lower cost of hydrogen in the end. So that's really important that we learn more from the projects we're being deployed at this moment.
Learn through doing, and I guess share those challenges so that everyone can try and build the industry and not, I guess, try and retain IP or seek a competitive advantage too early. But obviously there are competitive tensions out there, but interesting points. And in terms of some of the projects that you're involved in, I mean, the work of the cluster, do you want to sort of detail us a bit about that work and the TNO?
That's, I mean, so we work for all the 4 electrolysis technologies. So for PEM, alkaline, IM, the low temperature one, and also the high temperature solid oxide. And we work on material, component, cell development, stack development. So that's really on the technology. But we're also heavily involved in supporting end users with problems they see with deploying their current projects. And basically, TNO is there to support industry. So if there are companies who are suffering problems, we can help them, and we can also help them with their product development to become them more successful. So that can be one-to-one, helping them. But also we are setting up programs to accelerate the uptake of technology. For example, a new technology, anion exchange membrane. You see that the amount of companies active in IM is still small, and we see they all try to solve the same issue. And we think it makes sense to really combine that community and work together on some of the key topics for IM in terms of what should it be, pure water, should it be KOH, what will be the cell size? All they struggling with these questions, and as TNO, we're bringing these partners together and also share the investment, share the risk, accelerate the uptake of this technology, make sure we're going quickly from the lab you see behind me to pilots, because normally it takes, as you said, like a decade before a technology in the lab towards pilot, but we don't have the time anymore. We are already in the urge. We are not reaching the 1.5 degrees climate targets. We really need to accelerate this energy transition. Therefore, we need this new technology, but we can't afford studying another 10 years for that. So we are really there to bring new technologies to the market and help industry with that. And we've got now a separate team for offshore hydrogen, especially for the Netherlands. That's a really important topic. We have the North Sea in the Netherlands and the Greater North Sea with UK, Belgium, Denmark, Norway. We've got the potential of over 300 gigawatt of offshore wind. And at a certain moment, we can't not include all this offshore wind in our energy system. So we see there a role of actually producing offshore hydrogen offshore. But also that comes with a lot of challenges in the terms of maintenance. You don't want to have like a maintenance person going every week offshore, but that's really expensive. So can we design an electrolyzer with low maintenance, small footprint, flexible? So that's also considering the investment of the Dutch and German government. We said, we have a dedicated team now for offshore electrolyzer, both on technology as well as implementation of this electrolyzer on a platform.
Well, that's going to be an amazing environment, obviously, to develop electrolysis technology. I guess the holy grail of electrolysis is to take it there offshore and really tap the wind at its source. But yeah, fascinating stuff, and thanks for sharing some of your thoughts. There's lots of collaboration that needs to happen, lots of innovation that needs to happen fast, and we look forward to helping that with the World Electrolysis Congress, which is I think is now in its fourth edition. I've lost count. There's been so many, but we look forward to the industry coming together in March, and we encourage your work and the collaboration that you're doing to help hydrogen scale and climb down its cost curve. So many thanks, Lennart. Thanks for taking the time to chat to us today.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. Thanks.
Take
Cheers.
care. Bye bye.
Yes. Bye bye.